Do me a favor, and for just a moment, imagine what your life would be like if you could attract someone amazing into it. And when I say attract, I'm not talking about the law of attraction or wishful thinking. What I'm talking about is backed up by psychology, and it's something called the halo effect. The way that it works is very simple, but also very powerful. The halo effect is a psychological bias, and it says that people assume good-looking people also have good qualities and traits. Put simply, the halo effect causes people to assume that beautiful people are automatically more competent, successful, and intelligent than others. Researchers have performed many studies on this psychological bias, and they have discovered countless times that the halo effect is constantly in action, and during many of the tests, beautiful people received more help than less attractive people. Before we move on, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, damn, I really feel bad for those unattractive people. But even if you're not super attractive, there is plenty of hope for you to attract that special person, and you'll know how by the end of the video. With that said, an even more shocking result of the halo effect is that attractive people are more likely to get a lighter sentence just because they're better looking. I know, guys, you're sitting here thinking, damn, can't us less than perfect guys get a break? I mean, come on. So the neat thing about this psychological bias is that it occurs on a subconscious level, which means most people don't even realize they're biased in favor of attractive people. This probably also explains why a lot of guys have difficulty approaching girls, because if she's really attractive, you're automatically biased to think that she's also intelligent, wealthy, competent, and successful, which can make for one heck of an approach anxiety. Anyway, since the halo effect occurs subconsciously, you won't even be aware that the other person's attractiveness has anything to do with why you think they're amazing. Before we go further, we need to know what causes this strange phenomenon. The truth is that we're not really sure why this bias occurs, but it could have something to do with the media constantly pounding it into our head. For example, most of the commercials that you see on your television are filled with people who are attractive. This is especially true for commercials targeted towards women, and even just ones that have women in them. In fact, the entire Hollywood movie industry is another great example, and in many top movies, the main character is almost always very attractive and ends up becoming successful in the end. Think about all of the movies with Brad Pitt in them, and the 007 movies. Even movies that have a female as the main character usually star an attractive woman, and 9 times out of 10, they've got her wearing a super tight spandex costume. In fact, the movie Titanic is a great example. Another potential cause for the halo effect is the time that we spend around other attractive people. Most people can say that they experience good feelings when they're around attractive people, and this might explain why we automatically assign good qualities to good-looking people, even if we know nothing about their true character. Did you know that due to the power of the halo effect, attractive people are automatically more likely to earn more money, get better jobs, and have more friends than people who are less attractive? In a previous video, I mentioned that all success in life comes from your relationships with other people, and this might help to explain why attractive people seem to always hit the luck jackpot, because they're automatically more likely to have better relationships and opportunities. Now that we understand the halo effect and its implications, we can dive deep into the topic of how to attract anyone to you. And you don't have to be super attractive for this to work. This strategy is based on the basic psychology of interpersonal attraction, and it's very simple to understand. For everything to work properly, you need to know that people are attracted to other people who resonate with their interests, values, and beliefs. And to get someone to be attracted to you, you must know the person's interests, beliefs, and how they think. Let me give you an easy to understand example of how this works. When I was first growing my YouTube channel, I started with paid advertising because it's something that I have a lot of experience with. Like many of the world's top marketers, I first decided who I wanted to attract. Then I ran ads on YouTube to attract these people to my channel. I found several other channels that produce similar content, and I ran some of my videos as ads on their channels. A few of the channels that I advertised on were Fight Mediocrity, Positively Brainwashed, The Journey, and Improvement Pill. Once people watching their channels saw my ads, they were attracted to the content on my own channel, so you could say that I attracted them to me. Now, I highly doubt that you'll be able to attract a new girlfriend with YouTube advertising, but hopefully you get the point. Put simply, to attract a girl or special someone to you, you need to know what makes them excited. Imagine for a moment your closest friends. and think about what made you become friends. There is a good chance that you were attracted to them because of similar interests or beliefs. In other words, when you first met, you had something in common that made you want to be friends. If we break these concepts down into a strategy, it would go something like this. First, you need to decide what type of person you want to attract. Like a marketer, you need to understand the market you're interested in. For example, are you into girls who like to lift weights like you? Or would you prefer a girl who enjoys fitness but doesn't like strength training? Maybe the girls that you find most attractive love playing Call of Duty. Or maybe you're someone who loves a girl that can juggle while riding a unicycle. And don't tell me these girls don't exist, because I've seen them. After you know who you want to attract, you have to understand the person really well. In other words, you need to understand their personality, which can be accomplished through casual dates or hanging out with the person. The third part of the strategy, and this is key, is to realize that like attracts like. To make someone attracted to you, you must show signs of similarity, which means you need to show that you hold some of the same interests or beliefs or behaviors as the other person. This might seem like a very simple strategy, but it's insanely effective. Now, you're probably wondering what all of this has to do with the halo effect and how you can use it to your advantage. The answer to this question is simple, and it's also so easy that you'll probably wonder why you've never used it before. As mentioned earlier, the halo effect is a psychological bias that most people have, and it causes people to subconsciously assume that attractive people automatically have better personalities, competence, success, and so forth. Now, to use the halo effect with this simple strategy to attract a girl or special partner, all that you need to do is improve your appearance. That's what's cool about this trick. You don't have to be born with incredible aesthetic gifts to use this psychological bias, and you definitely don't need to visit a plastic surgeon. All that you need to do is improve your appearance in any way that you can to make yourself look more attractive, which will allow you to put the halo effect to work for you. Start with the basics like nice clothes and a clean haircut. You get bonus points if you can figure out some clever ways to hide any physical imperfections. A great example of this is my boy Bradley Martin, who is a popular fitness YouTuber. I think Bradley is a cool dude, but he has a terrible hairline, and I'm pretty sure he's balding in many areas. But the guy is a master at hiding this imperfection with a hat. You probably won't find a single video where Bradley isn't wearing a hat. And this is very clever because by covering up the hairline, he's putting the halo effect to work for him. Another crazy example of this psychological bias can be observed in several social experiments. During these experiments, a normal man is covered in dirt and dressed with a torn, rugged clothes. And when asking people for change, he receives almost nothing. In the second part of the experiment, the man is cleaned up and dressed in a suit. And interestingly, due to the halo effect, people automatically assign good qualities to him, and they actually give him money. When combined with the strategy that is based on like attracts like, mentioned earlier, the halo effect can help you attract anyone. And since it works for everyone, you can start using it today to improve every area of your life. Until next time, thanks for watching.